I want this to be for the community. So I'm like, what? I'm on it. Like, I had a grant writer. I had met with Providence Development, the director, like all these amazing people. And then last minute he pulls out. So then here I am, damage control, because I'm the face of the project, not him. You know, so all of a sudden people are wanting follow-up, wanting, you know, we submitted a lot of, you know, financial papers and, you know, we working with people in Boston, and it just didn't happen. But, you know, I was sad, but at the same time, what I've gained from that experience will stay with me forever. You know, so it's okay. You're not gonna achieve everything that you set out to do, and that's okay. But as long as you gain something from that experience, that's what the important piece. That's how I look at it, because I would be still really sad. Yeah.
It's actually great because you started. It's like your training actually started this high.
Yeah.
Just think about it. It feels like a small project, sort of. You probably not gonna even have to think about it that much.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool to see the bigger side of it. Now I can say, now I know where it's gonna end. Now let me, you know, I started at 10 when I should have started at 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay.
That's the way you learn.
Yeah. Either way, I learned. Any other questions?
So your sister's organization that you're extremely proud of.
This is her organization, is Edu Leaders of Color. Huh?
I love that.
So
Yeah, we
does she have like a location or?
So, yeah, this is their mission. They cultivate leaders of color invested in social justice and challenge and equity. So this is her. You guys can read that. It's awesome. Every month we have meetups, and we invite everybody. You know, because what she wants is like for educators, community leaders to just. We just had our last meetup at RISD Museum. You know, so we're everywhere. And it's just see her. She just actually received a grant for $75,000 for her organization, and then now there's another one from like Fannie, and it's for like $125,000 that they haven't. In January they'll let her know. So it's like that is motivation for me. Like my sister started this organization from the bottom.
So how can you partner up with her where her nonprofit is Edu Leaders of Color, and then yours is the maybe like Health Leaders of Color?
So what, you know, I don't want to really like interfere with her work right now just because she's like on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
But what we discussed is that the first step is I'm going to be part of her board, right? And I'm going to try to little by little, like we just had, it's on this PowerPoint. She's like a big person in the community, in the Department of Health that focuses on community development. Angie, she's actually the new executive vice president for United Way. So she's definitely somebody that I really want to talk to and, you know, continue to work on our relationship because I'm going to be emailing her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Teresa too, that's somebody new that I'm working with, and they work in, you know, they rehab a lot of these abandoned houses all around the community, which a lot of like, you know, people that use drugs, and we want to make our community look better, not gentrify it, but make it look better, because that's what we have a lot of like of that is we're battling gentrification and bringing in, you know, a different class, and now the rent is like sky high, but you know their focus is on a specific, you know.
Vanessa, like when you were talking, I was thinking about your first focus, which is like health disparities.
Mm-hmm.
But I also heard the things you were saying about like how to deal with cops and those other causes you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the end, I don't know, I'm just thinking maybe you think like dealing with health is a little bit small, and given the passion I heard from you, and because I could think of like a consultant somewhere, like just giving people trainings in 100 rooms and they would just go smoothly.
Yeah.
Maybe if you think about reframing this project, and then if you think health disparity is a little bit small, it becomes like almost like branching under those, the other thing you were talking about. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah. The thing is that why I focus, just to give you some more clarity on that, is that there are so many environmental stressors that contribute to why this community lives the way that they live. So you have, institutionalized racism and you have all of these stressors cause health issues. I have statistics there. You guys, it's on my education, but it's a lot, but Black men suffer from more high blood pressure, from diabetes, from, you have people that have housing problems. That stress causes heart problems, this and that. So their environmental stressors ultimately have an effect on their health. So why I speak to that is because what effects it has on their health. Do you get what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't look at it that way. But if you kind of like take a step back and see everything that's happening in the communities and how, I fear for my sons. I fear, they're walking down the street, anything can happen. He can just be walking from school, and anything can happen. But if people that live in Burrillville, they don't worry about that. People that live in Newport, they don't have to worry about their sons walking home from school. It's just little things like that I would say other people don't take for granted, and I just want to shine light on those issues that everybody just kind of overlooks.
Another thing too, I don't know if you remember, I had brought my aunt Tanya one time to talk to the school, and she had a health symposium. She's kind of on the same page that you are in. Her thing is that, especially in the Spanish community, that the doctors, especially in these like Providence Community Health Centers, they don't educate their patients enough or put in the time to educate their patients enough to prevent health issues or to help them do what they need to do to help their own health issues that they currently have, which is why we have a lot of bigger rates of people who have diabetes or who have, all of these things. So I volunteered for it. It was awesome. They had all of these different doctors. I don't know if you got to see it because I emailed it to everyone, but she had all those different doctors. We were at Juanita Sanchez, the high school, and each room had all of these different doctors talking about to the community, just educating them about different health issues and how they can help it and how they can better it and how they should bring interpreters and how the interpreters at these places don't really interpret properly, which is one of the biggest issues that is in the health right now.
See, I appreciate that, right? But at the same time, I just feel like it's just another fair with the doctor that's there for 2 hours and then it's done, and then we're back to the same cycle, the same vicious cycle of, people not having access to quality care,
So that's what I think
what I'm saying is, like, I've talked to the Department of Health, and we're doing, but everything is on paper. There's nothing that you're gonna tell me on this paper that's gonna have any action unless we're putting it to action. So I'm kind of over the fact, oh, well, we have this project rolling out. Okay, so tell me what has happened. Give me numbers, give me change, give me improvement.
So that's where I'm kind of, what I was going with that is kind of like thinking like kind of how like Doc said of something small, because we know that this is what you want to eventually do.
Oh yeah.
So maybe like little gatherings like that to kind of get like the community to kind of
start with the Edu Leaders of Color meetups. So I'm gonna kind of implement a little bit of health care, little by little, and then my focus is on the, we always call them CHCs, the community health centers. We partner as neighborhood with community health centers, but we neglect them the most, you know? So it's like, let's go to these health, you know, and sit down with them and let's see what they need. We need to hear it from them. We don't need people that have never lived this life, you know, coming up with numbers and this is why, you know, they're, you know, the poverty level, and no. We have to hear it from them. What do you want? What would work for you? You know?
I wanted to just say like a few things. Like what you was saying earlier. We obviously are just coming in on this
Right.
like, really massive thing that you're doing, and I'm just like, hi, I don't really know. I'm just here right now.
Yeah.
But it's really awesome, and it sounds really all encompassing. Like the common theme that I see is like the classes. Like there's just like lots of like different like little class components, and I feel like that's like the little needle in the thread that I see that could help. And the only thing that I really have to add is that I work for a nonprofit in Oregon, so it's not that helpful to you,
Yeah.
that does Know Your Rights trainings, and I do those training, like I give those trainings.
Oh, really?
And the program, yeah, and so if we can talk later about
Yeah.
like logistics of that, but just this is like from what you were saying, we do these basically the trainings that we do train people in the community to give the trainings. So instead of like going to a cop or like a lawyer, like you have one lawyer or whomever like that knows the training,
Mm-hmm.
give the training to like a group of community members who like are like passionate and care, and then it's just so much more effective.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I don't know, I just, the trainings are really cool, and I don't know if that's a small
it's
piece of
needed.
feedback that I have.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's something so small, but the effects.
And I would, yeah, it's just, it's really, I see the tie to the health, and, I can just say that in, like, the communities that, the nonprofit that I work for focuses on is just, like, activists, like, across the board, just activists
Yeah.
in any community, but, like, other activists gain a lot from hearing a training from an activist. So I can imagine that, like, any community, like, if you're having a training on knowing your rights, or like a doctor that's a doctor of color, like going into a clinic and like giving a presentation on like cultural sensitivity to
Yes.
other doctors in their community that like are white or like don't know, and like it just really seems to make the transition of learning for that new group easier.
And it's hard, you know, being a color to kind of have this conversation.
Mhm.
So I am looking in, I don't know if you've heard of this organization called White Noise. They are predominantly white, but they advocate for our rights, you know, and you know, what they do is, you know, they get together and they call it White Noise, obviously, you know, self-explanatory,
That's
but
really
it's
funny.
awesome.
Yeah, that's a great name.
It's awesome, and we, you know, they attend our meetups, we attend their, we work together, and it's helpful, you know, because sometimes as much as I can try it, I don't get my point across, and then when they try it, they do. As messed up as that sounds, it's just the way.
Well, you're operating in like an F system, and like
Right.
you just have to figure out the way that you have to go in that maze, I guess. And so if that's the way that you have to do it, then that's the way.
Yeah, when we have our functions at AS 220 with our making our Black Lives Matter, it's like
We
they're-
saw those today.
Did you? I have.
Prints. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did you go to AS 220?
Mhm.
Yep. I did my whole wardrobe. But anyways, you know, they're predominantly white people that show up. So it's like I think that the community gets this messed up, distorted. You know, they have to. It's about trusting, and they need people like myself that, you know, it's okay. You know, we could be diverse. Our communities could be that. You know, it doesn't not just be people, white people. Like, we need to work together. You know, and that's something that I would look to do in educating my community. You know. Any other questions? This is a lot. But I put this up for you guys so that you can see, just like, you know, so sucks, you know, like let's
Yeah, I was kinda waiting for that. I'm actually gonna cross off here. I wanted to hear